Hello and welcome to another episode of Olsem Wanem. Communication is a very important aspect of our everyday life. In the past, we used kundus, garamuts, including various other traditional instruments to relay information. But so much has changed due to communication technology. We now take a look at its transition and its challenges in terms of mobile phone usage. Communication is a two-way process of reaching mutual understanding. It is the act or process of using words, sounds, signs, or behaviors to express or exchange information, thoughts, and feelings. It is the imparting and exchanging of information through speaking, writing, or using some other medium. As soon as you wake up from bed every morning, you never cease to communicate until you go to sleep. Communication plays a vital role in our everyday life. In the past, our ancestors used garamuts, kundus, even conch shells to relay messages to neighboring communities or relatives, and often through their traditional singing and dancing. It is sad to say that we now see very little of that today.
Before time all tubuna long me obviously use him garamut all. People like relay message or talk sabe or something big plus something like come up plus sing or whatever. Well, I shoot him garamut houseboy. I got a big plus houseboy, 2-1 houseboy. They got kind garamut. They got big plug garamut. They got legally garamut. They got kind long Wanem something only use him long use blem. Time salim talk sabe Monday. I'm got narbla garamut. They got narbla beat blem. But talk sabe also. All like sing out him some like spirit something or sing tubuna. Wanem got narbla beat blem. Narbla garamut also use him. Time Monday long way or sila way garamut in a rich mall. People use him canul pedal. Plus belum warana. People got lake na. But take him 2 days something or same. Baru go reach him narwala place talk sabe or salam out message or sila.
Olsem people no got mobile phone. Olsem people sa stablo mountain na singat lo narwala line iko kamna. Olsem people sa singat iko. Olsem sampla man dayo. Olsem like kirim pigo. Sampla bu mosem no gat phone time mi plasa singat lo mountain to mountain na mi plasa singat ti mollo ka mosem na sampla mosem orsa igo katim sampla bus diwaina orsa vim gutru na kamapim white na orsa igo sanapim mandablo mountain na or narlo line by kamna looking no one plus sign osem mandayo sampla line singat mi plasa mi pla mas go on the place.
Time mi plus sablong when ambar na mi plus are mo sem plan man sanap na singat mi plus ave o sem singat na toksalo mi plus em fight or sambla trouble em come up and by toksalo mi plus through singat tasol because phone no come up yet time.
Usually it's just a leader calling in the middle of the village to alert everybody that there is a meeting or there is a feast or anything to inform them. If they were from another village, then a runner has to go. Somebody has to be sent to the nearby village to let them know. If there was to be a feast or so, then we have the invitation to be done by sending a bunch of betel nut to let them know that there's going to be a feast or there's going to be a fight or there's going to be some kind of work that's going to be performed on the particular day. So the betel nut is sent to that village and then they inform the other people.
Yeah, all white money can come up now. People start using writing pass. All post office, people using all post office. Lagan our station, people mission station, government station. People start selling pass. Los talk sabe all narbla line and narbla.
No got now I'm all losing because phone come up time yeah. All communication with the phone na. Passing lo singat I'm all losing but I think sambla lapon lo singat lo place stapo.
So much has changed over the years due to technology. From personal computers to Macintosh, mails to emails, and from landline phones to mobile phones.
As I think everyone is aware, and particularly anyone who's been around PNG over the last 5 or 6 years, there's been a big change in communications technology in this country, which is still, I suppose, finding its feet. We've got a big expansion in coverage, but we're still, I think, all working out what to do and how to get these things beyond sending messages back and forward to each other.
Mobile phones in particular have made communication in Papua New Guinea much more easier.
Is just very briefly to kick us off. So in Papua New Guinea, mobile phone service started in May 2002. That was when Telecom PNG launched what was an analogue service, what we would now refer to as a 1G or first generation service. That service was only available in Port Moresby and Lae, and in 2004 that service was replaced by a GSM service. That was the first digital service here, what we would now call a 2G or second generation service, and they called that B-Mobile, and that started to spread to some of the other major towns in the country as well. And Telecom PNG continued to have a monopoly in the mobile telephone space until 2007. In 2007, the ICCC, the Independent Consumer and Competition Commission, granted 2 additional licences to bring to a total of 3 the number of mobile phone licences in the country. From this time, July 1, 2007, when the 2 additional licences were launched, we had an expansion to rural areas of the network happening from that date, and this meant a rapid uptake in mobile phone use. This diagram that I've put up shows the number of mobile phone users in Papua New Guinea over the years. You can see that there was virtually no growth from 2003 to 2006, and in 2006 there were 100,000 mobile phone users in Papua New Guinea.
Mobile phone usage in Papua New Guinea has so far increased since the introduction of mobile phone competition from various service providers. We now take a look at its expansion and usage. Mobile phone service providers in Papua New Guinea include Digicel, B-Mobile, and CityPhone. The expansion of mobile phone usage has been boosted by the introduction of competition among service providers and the expansion of their network coverage areas. As a result, people from a number of rural areas now have access to mobile phones and its services. Mobile phones have also become popular due to their affordability, efficiency, and the fact that it beats time and space.
You use him to communicate long. You got need to talk to man or family or blow walk or.
First of all, mostly before me plus write him letter na at work na sa kam.
Communication go easy long, me plus long point A to point B long some city go lo place.
Mobile phone sambla something good pla. Time you like communication lo business or sambla good pla something or some you like talk travel or family blow you or some sambla trouble or problem or die or something something come up now you like talk survey fast communication and mobile good pla.
According to research, over 85% of mobile phone users in Papua New Guinea use and own basic handsets.
So as we've said, mobile phone access has started since 2007. There's been rapid uptake, but I think it's important to note that people are still often in many parts of the country using quite basic handsets. While some of us perhaps in urban centres might have Blackberries or more advanced phones, many people in the country are still using fairly basic phones. There were some initial promotional deals that were offered by both Digicel and also B-Mobile, encouraging people to buy phones, and many people purchased Coral and Nokia 1100, Nokia 1200, those kinds of phones, and many people still use, I believe, those basic handsets in the country.
Both the young and old people have come to embrace the mobile technology. Mobile phones are so easy to use, and one does not have to be literate to use it.
Lesson number 2 is that voice calls and text messaging, or SMS, does work. They both do work in the PNG context. It's not difficult for a start. It's not technically difficult to be able to send a message, receive a message, make a phone call or receive a phone call. Even someone who's illiterate can be shown, all you need to do is press the green button. If a call comes in, press the green button and you can talk to your relative who's trying to phone you. We know that some people in the village, if they want to make a call, will ask someone else, can you please dial the number for me or look up the contact for me, and then they can talk. So being able to talk on the phone, being able to make calls and receive phone calls is technically not that difficult. Even someone with very limited functional literacy and technical literacy can do that. We also know that sending and receiving text messages is not too hard, and people are able to do that compared to the technical requirements that you would need if you wanted to operate a laptop or do some more advanced things. So people are able to do it. Also, another big advantage with both voice calls and text messaging is that they can be done on any phone. You don't have to be having a particular type of phone to be able to do these things like with some other things. You don't need a Java-enabled phone with a form on it. You don't need a smartphone in which you have to download an application, but you can do these things with any phone in the world. You can make and send text messages and make and receive phone calls.
The usage of mobile phones has also boosted business activities at all levels. Almost every taxi driver in Port Moresby owns a mobile phone.
Customer line good line also phone number also making me lazy because the phone does also ring me whenever we'll stop line also talk me come. Piggy more na also go piggy more phone or ring na when location will stop line phone does also stop or ring me blana.
First time we play Olsem club nothing all man nothing club. So now all customer from now plant taxi na all same taxi also same safety blow all like Olsem. All him now Olsem family all savi good go come Olsem na all banana club on taxi. So at least we play traffic jam or some people stop long number they can club on taxi. So now I'm this time plant taxi na mobile I'm good long we run taxi.
For those who own mobile phones and have used them know that there are benefits to it, whether it be for personal or business. But as the saying goes, there are two sides to a coin. We now take a look at issues surrounding mobile phones. Many people have raised concerns on the usage of mobile phones. Some say it creates an avenue for married people to have extramarital affairs, having more than 1 or 2 boyfriends and girlfriends. In other words, it destroys relationships, and it also assists in communication in criminal activities.
Mobile phone no got 1980s, 81, 82 and some people are using. People write him letter or boyfriend or girlfriend blah people write him letter taso. Na people are using more nala pigini or go talk savi or desa kind.
Time mobile kama be a plenty problem kama brook maret. Man communication through the phone na friend him narbla Mary tu tricky man blend na communication em sa friend nala man. All school beginning all looking all kind can picture inside of phone or some Facebook or Wanem na kind can passing non good em kama inside all school beginning too. Or some me as a mother me looking sambla waste phone in a good plat too.
Beginning time nowadays yeah or something like go some 13 years now 14 years now 12 years all beginning time yeah. Or go school no or pamon buy mobile phone na give more ya some me been looking more beginning or some all looking more blue buina all beginning all taxi go am desk na or writing pasi go am text phone mobile phone na or begin na begin bro head bro barab na.
There has to be a lot of parental guidance on the use of mobile phones by children. Once we it is just like the computers. We have to guide them and tell them the purpose of the use of the mobiles properly, so they don't abuse the mobile. If they abuse it, then the negative impact will come upon them. Otherwise, it is for a positive purpose, and mobile phones into the modern world, it is a big impact for children as well.
You're having problem, or you making something on mobile way. Salim something no go come, now got internet, whatever, or email, or one something now, plenty. Man only misuse him the mobile phone way. Good play use belong am stuff. I'm good play communicate lo. Salim communication talk sa well problem, or you got problem, or you need him something, or you like to talk to family, or picking or set stuff long well, or you am lo this last. So, meeting mobile I'm good play. I'm good play something, but it's how you one man you use him. Use him lo good play passing, I'm good play. Use him lo passing no good. Mobile no good play something too.
So obviously, technology has its bad sides as well as its good sides, and yes, you're right, many schools in Papua New Guinea have banned mobile phones from school. They find that students are being distracted in classroom by the SMS and other things like that. Also, some students have been quite distressed. I know of cases where students have been very distressed through exposure to pornographic or offensive images through mobile phone handsets that have the capacity to store and share images. So yeah, that is a reality that many schools have banned mobile phones. I think where you're talking about children under a certain age, then I don't actually have a problem with that at all. I think mobile phones can do some good things, as we've been saying here today, but yeah, obviously there's limitations, and I don't necessarily have a problem with saying that children under a certain age shouldn't have mobile phones or should have limited access to mobile phones.
Cybercrime is also another serious issue relating to mobile phones.
Yesterday's arrest of a Kabul man who impersonated the Speaker of Parliament, Theo Zurnok, and exchanged pornographic material on a mobile social networking site has again brought the issue to the fore. Lay's police boss, Ivan Lakatani, says legislators need to strengthen the laws governing the internet.
We need to have that in place because it's becoming prevalent. It's becoming so common in the country now. And, we need to look at the Criminal Code Act. We need to look at the Summary Offences Act. We need to look at the other relevant legislations so that we amend them according to what is current and relevant today.
Jackson Kelly, the man at the center of the controversy, created a profile on a Lithuanian mobile social networking site. His username until yesterday was Hotboy4214. His profile picture, the casual photo of the Speaker of Parliament in a grey singlet. Late yesterday, police charged him with being in possession of pornographic material. While he will be charged using other relevant laws, Lay police say specific laws on the internet and mobile phone related abuse should be developed in order to address the growing problem.
Government has to be tough on this, and we need to have, laws in place.
Jackson Kelly's arrest yesterday has brought to light evidence of thriving online Papua New Guinean communities, including those of teenagers who produce and exchange illicit material. Now, unless a sting operation is conducted and mobile phone service providers agree to hand over information, it's difficult to track down offenders. Parliament is now considering laws to have all SIM cards registered so that it's easy to track down offenders.
Welcome back. So far, we have looked at the benefits and issues surrounding mobile phones. A study has been conducted and funded by the Australian government to support the Papua New Guinea government to explore potential use of mobile phone in service delivery and development. Utilizing mobile phones for development in PNG study consists of 3 pilot projects. These 3 trial projects are in health, in terms of childbirth emergency phone, law and justice in terms of village court data, and education in terms of SMS story projects. The research was conducted in 2012 to 2013. The Childbirth Emergency Project involved the establishment of free call phone number for rural health workers to phone when patients experience childbirth complications.
So, the first lesson learned out of the projects is that people do own or have access to mobile phones. All three projects found that people, particularly rural-based workers with whom we were working in these projects, do have access to and own mobile phones. In the Childbirth Emergency Phone Project, we visited rural health workers and aid post orderlies throughout Milne Bay Province, and most of those people had and used mobile phones. Obviously, there are unfortunately some health centres still which don't have mobile phone coverage, but even so, many of those health workers owned mobile phones and they could then use them when they paddled out in a canoe or travelled to somewhere where they could access mobile phone coverage. It's possible to conduct training remotely using mobile phones. In the Childbirth Emergency Phone Project, with rural health workers phoning into the labour ward in Alatau, we found that on-the-job informal training was happening during those phone calls for the participating staff. The labour ward staff learnt about the issues and the constraints in rural areas, and the rural health staff also learnt about some new techniques and so on. So there was some informal on-the-job training happening through those phone calls.
The other project was carried out within the law and justice sector. The project involved collecting data from village courts to district courts through text messaging. The project indicated that data collection from mobile phone text messaging is a useful tool.
In the law and justice sector, remote training was a key part of this project. In the project, what we were doing was we were doing data collection using text messaging. So it was remote data collection. We weren't travelling out to get the information, we were doing the data collection through SMS. So to be able to do the training remotely as well through through phones, in this case through voice calls, was fantastic. So what we did was I actually phoned each clerk and talked to them about the project first, explained that the Chief Magistrate and everyone was behind and running this project, and then we actually went through over the phone training, either in the same phone call or in a later phone call at a suitable time for them. And so what I was doing was I would say, I'd be talking to them on one phone and they'd be texting on another phone. So I would say, for example, please send the word START, S-T-A-R-T, to this particular number. They would send in the message and I'd say, have you received a reply? What's the reply say? What do you do next? And we'd go through, so they'd be actually texting in while I'd be talking to them on another phone, and that was how we did the remote training. Of course, remote training saves the time that would have been spent on travel and also the time and money as well that would have been spent on travel. So remote training worked well in that project.
The third trial project is the SMS Story Project. It involved sending daily mobile text messages to teachers in rural elementary schools. The text messages contained lesson plans and short stories that teachers used to write on the blackboard and used in other classroom learning activities.
In SMS Story, the teachers did not need to leave the classroom in order to be able to participate in the project, which was one great thing about the project. They didn't need to leave the classroom to do training. They were actually doing the training really as they went along through the project, through receiving the daily text messages. So the text messages, importantly in this project, the main outcome was that daily text messages to teachers improved students' reading ability. Those text messages included a lesson plan that was sent each day and also a short story that was sent each day. So the lesson plan gave teachers ideas about how to incorporate that short story into their teaching. So we could say in a way, because of the positive outcomes of the project, we could say that in actual fact that series of text messages of lesson plans was actually a training in a way. Obviously there's some wonderful advantages of getting everyone into a room and doing some hands-on face-to-face training, but in this case we were able to impart some skills and ideas through using the remote training technique. Also in SMS Story, the daily text messages served as daily reminders. Some teachers said, oh, I didn't realise I was supposed to teach reading every day. So even something as simple as receiving a text message about teaching reading every day provided people with that idea. Oh, okay, it's a bit like a reminder that they have to do their job, if you like.
Despite various issues surrounding mobile phones, the good news is lessons can be learned from these 3 trial projects to enable various organizations and government agencies to see how best they can use mobile phones in service delivery and development in rural areas.
Business providing business go come long centers na remote places mobile phone and got people important role too. Making thinking Olsem. Now because now plenty up, plenty something people find in the city is the place now close to Laos dollar LS because problem I mobile phone to and play some role inside long. Make a business long man long move go come.
So we will be my people will be trained on how to operate the smartphone so that any time when the information is required by photographs of actual happenings are going to be submitted with the reports to the developer or to the funding agency so that they have first-hand information on what their money is being put to use.
And that brings us to the end of this edition. Thank you to everyone who participated in this show. If you have any comments or stories you'd like to share, please contact us via the address on your screen or visit us on our Facebook page. For now, enjoy the rest of your viewing on your #1 station, NTV.